Hello guys, how are you? Welcome to the talk show of LaughaLaughi. Today we have Jillian Haslam, who is known for her motivational speeches with us, and Ambarish Patra behind the lens, and Sritama Thakur as the journalist. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
First of all, hearty congratulations to you for winning the Mother Teresa International Award for Social and Humanitarianism. So, would you like to say something about it to us?
Well, except that it was surreal. I didn't believe that it was me that they selected. I have taken quite a long time to come to terms with this whole thing, and I've had to keep it a secret for so long because they didn't want the press to converge on, Mother House and things like that. So I had to keep it silent, and it's very difficult to deal with something like that alone. But I did go back to them and I said, I'm not a Catholic girl. I'm a Anglican, a Protestant. And they said, no, it's not about religion. It's about you're the only person who's helping the aged and the children, the youth, women in need, and the disabled. There are not many people who do everything and to try to reach so many people who are in distress. So yeah, it was very honorable but a very overwhelming experience today to have so many dignitaries there, so many heads of Calcutta, so many ministers and all of that over there, and then to meet all the nuns and all the sisters of charity, and then hundreds and hundreds of little girls who just wanted to touch your hand and wanted to walk with you and be with you, and it was just I think one of the greatest days of my life also because it's my city. It's where I was born, and we received the True Legend Award in 2015, and then last year we received the Excellence in Humanitarianism. But for your city to recognize you like this is extraordinary to me. It could be to anybody. One day I took help and powdered milk and biscuits from Mother Teresa's hands, and today to be awarded in her name it's extraordinary.
Okay. I would like to know, why did you opt to become an author and an extraordinary speaker?
I think that, in my own humble opinion, you can't educate every child. You can't change every child's life, and you can't, change the amount of lives that you want to change. But I do believe that inspiration and motivation can do that. So sometimes I'm invited to talk to 12 schools in a slum, in Kirpo or anywhere, and in Paksikis, etc. And when I talk to the girls and I say to the kids, do you believe that you can achieve anything you want in life? And they all look at you like open mouths, like, no, it's very hard. But when I tell them my story and I say this is where I lived and I had no home and we were very poor, and 3,000 people shared 3 toilets, and how I fell down in front of my boyfriends and things like that, then you get a laugh. And at the end of it, when I tell my story that we had nothing, and then I say, do you really believe that you can achieve anything you want? And every hand goes up, So that's inspiration and motivation. And I think the book did so well, which again to me was quite extraordinary. I didn't believe that it would do so well, the story. So I truly believe that if it can be a movie, and if I can talk to them, I can change lives by the hundreds, which is really what we need to happen for these ones who are in desperate need, of hope.
As we all know, you were born and brought up in the city of joy. So, why did you decide to shift to UK from Kolkata, India?
I had a dream. I wanted to help hundreds and hundreds of people. I wanted to reach out to so many of them. I wanted to obviously help my family, but who doesn't? And then after that, I wanted to come back and bring everything in the sense to give hope and to give back to because the poorest of the poor helped to save our lives. The Panwala and the Modi, and there were so many little vegetable women and the meat man, and everybody saved our lives when we were very little and we had literally nothing. They had nothing to give, but yet they gave it all. So I think it's about gratitude. It's about coming back and not forgetting where you came from and which are the people who were instrumental. If they never fed us, I wouldn't even be able to sit with you here today. We lost 4 siblings to poverty and malnutrition. I could have been one of them. But these poor people helped us. So it's just right, it just feels right to come back to give. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, when you lack a brilliant education, you lack experience, you lack money, how do you accomplish such a big dream? So I had to go away, I had to get educated, I had to study, I had to find my way, and I had to get very strong myself. I was the weakest link in my family, you know. I was traumatized from a very young age because I was locked in a toilet with hundreds and hundreds of big flying cockroaches when I was a little girl by one of my mom's friends who was looking after us. And every evening she would lock me in this Indian style toilet and close the door and put off the light. And there were hundreds of these big flying cockroaches. And she did it for months, so I became a very traumatic child. But I soon learned when I grew up that there was only one person who could fix it, and I had to fix it. My parents loved me, but they can't fix anything that's going on in your head. They can't remove that fear. So I had to fix that. So I had to learn, and so I got the best mentors, I got the best people to train me, I went for the best self-development courses, and I learned how to fix myself. You know, you have to fix yourself before you fix someone else, like Gandhi says. You have to be the light first that you wish to see in others. So I had to be that light first, because there's no point me having so many reservations and issues in my life and trying to fix someone else. What's the point of that? So that's why I went abroad, to make something of my life and to come back. And I hope someday, very soon actually, I hope to come back and, you know, not just stay here, but to go back to my little room in Kidapur and stay there, you know, because that would be my greatest dream.
So how often do you visit Kolkata?
Very often, 3 or 4 times a year.
That's great.
Yes, and I always go back to the place where I grew up and meet all of them. They all know us. They're very proud of us, and we are very proud of them. And you know, I don't think that relationship will ever change.
Okay. So what are the changes that you have noticed in Kolkata during this visit?
The changes.
Yeah.
I think the younger generation have moved on. I think a lot of them are also very into technology and fashion, but that's okay. That's the Bollywood influence. But I also meet a lot of young people who are very focused on changing things. And I think with the way the world is moving, I speak at many conferences where they actually ask me to speak on moving from an old world into a new world, you know. And I said to them that, I said at this conference that, listen, we all may want to move, and we are talking about driverless cars and robots in our kitchens and drone dropping and all of that, which is perfect for you. Now, please don't forget that there is 3/4 of the world who know nothing about what is going on. They don't understand this move from your old world to the new world. You know, so how are you going to move leaving all these people behind? So I think I appeal to the younger generation to understand that there is this huge disconnect and that we have to work together to help this to happen. But I also think that Calcutta was one of the greatest cities, as you well know, you know, at the time of British and stuff. It was the capital and everything. And I do believe that it has great potential. Yes, some of the world's greatest historians come from our city. We mustn't forget that. But if we don't make use of history, what good are we? So I think the younger generation feel that they have that ability. Tomorrow I'm speaking at so many colleges and universities and things like that, and I go with this this idea that, you know, if anybody can change things, you can. You have the power to do that. There used to be this saying that the youth are leaders of tomorrow, but I truly believe that now with the aid of technology, the youth are the leaders of today, because they can influence people right by sitting with their phones right there. You know, we have the power, we need to use it effectively. That's why, that's why I came back.
You have also been to Delhi. So what are the changes would you like to make in Kolkata and Delhi? Just in short.
I think our leaders need to understand, you know, it's if you haven't really lived in poverty and you haven't really lived in need, there is no way that you can understand what is required. There's no way, right? So if you've been brought up in luxury and you've been brought up with a lot of money and you've been brought up at a great school and you went to some fabulous university, there is no way you can understand what a child or what a youngster goes through who has studied in a government school, got a certificate, desperate to start work, and yet can't find work anywhere. You can't connect. Then there is also this kind of social problem that exists, whereby there are these people who actually believe that because you're poor or because you are a poor child, you will never go anywhere. You just are poor, so you're different. My child is rich, so you're different. You're going to go somewhere. I have literally had people say to teachers, don't bother about them, just do little drawing and art with them, and you know what, they can never be compared to mainstream students. So there's this, and there's also this status quo that everybody tries to fit into, that it's too hard to do this, we'll just remain where we are and let them remain where they are. So you can walk out of a shopping center with all your 100 shopping bags, and you can walk past a child who is going to the toilet, actually only blood, and you can just walk past that child as though you don't care. How can this be real? How do you measure a country's success when you see something like that? I don't know how you can do it. So I really think our leaders need to be able to live with the poor and understand them before they can make a change, because otherwise you can't make a change. It's not possible for them to make this change. They're only interested in sending their own children to the top universities and getting them the best and all of that. But what happens to the little ones? What happens to the ones who don't have? So I think the leaders need to be educated more, because how do you measure a country's success if not by margins of the poverty? And look at India. We are sending space shuttles to Mars and stuff like that, and we are into the nuclear industry and stuff like that, but half our population is still in abject poverty. The world talks about India for what? Poverty. Most of the people say, yes, India is a booming economy, but why are there still so many people living in abject poverty? What is happening? So these are very serious questions we need to ask ourselves, and I don't think that without a soul or without experiencing you can fix it.
So do you think that due to the political corruption, like our state is not developing at a rate it should?
Absolutely, 100%. Of course, definitely. Because I think it's a me, my and myself culture. Every person wants their children to go to the best unis or to have the best and have the best cars and houses and whatever. But there's no concept of every child is equal and every child has potential and every child should be given an equal opportunity. It's like that. Just imagine that in our country, just because a child doesn't get good food, just normal, basic good food, you are actually denying them their rights, because then they get malnutrition or cholera or diseases that actually each and every one of these diseases are treatable. They're fully treatable in other countries. You won't see children suffering with cholera, tuberculosis, thalassemia, all of this kind of blindness caused by malnutrition. You won't find this in other countries, and even if you do, the children are very well looked after. But our children are just not. Why is that? And yet, the sad thing is, you see so many Indian doctors, girls and boys, male and female, advising the British government on healthcare. You see Indian doctors advising the US government on child welfare. Why aren't we doing it in our own country? Are we short of children to advise? Are there no children suffering? Come on, but we do it there because we get paid better there, right? That's the truth. Come on, then there is a void, and that void needs to be filled, I think.
Okay, so please say us something about your latest speech on 6 oppressive barriers that prevent kids from growing as they should.
Yes, that's in an hour from now. Yes, so it's like I was talking about some of them, so social inequality, disease, some of them, not giving them equal opportunity is another one, education is another one, just basic, like I said, just the basic food that they're not getting, they're just not getting even the simplest of food, to eat. Sanitation is another problem. So these are the 6 oppressive problems in child welfare, and this is what I'm going to just currently deliver a speech on, and I've been invited to do so, and I think it's very important to do that.
Okay. So, ma'am, we would like to know about your hobbies.
My hobbies?
Yeah.
My hobbies are, but I wouldn't call them hobbies. But yeah, I go to the gym every day, but that's just silly. But my real interests are just spending time with myself and thinking about what better I can do for people in need. That's where I get my peace of mind and that's how I relax. I don't need to go swimming or go to the gym or do anything like that, or the spa and stuff. I think I spend every waking moment trying to come up with new ideas, new interests, new ways of how I can reach children, how I can reach the aged, what new schemes I can come up with, how I can build this to reach. So we don't have much time left, We have only a finite amount of time on this planet, and we have to try to do maximum amount of work as we can. So I'm always empowering my team. I'm always trying to motivate them and say, come on, we can do more. Get up, get up. My dad always used to say, wake up, you don't have to sleep, because when you die, you'll have enough time to sleep. You need to be awake now. So I never sleep. I hardly sleep. I sleep 3 or 4 hours a day. That's it. Sometimes. But I don't really need to sleep.
Okay. Okay, so say us something about your biopic film.
Yes, it's being made, and I think the movie crew will be in Calcutta at the end of February or beginning March. And the director, the producer, all of them will come with the crew, and they're going to create a development package which consists of a trailer, a storyboard, and you can even see the latest, the smaller trailer version on Indian English, themovie.com if you go there. But yeah, they're coming to prepare this development package, and then after the development package, they will give it out to bigger investors, and then we'll get the 25 million pounds that we need to make the movie, because it has to be shot in Calcutta, and it has to be shot in London and in Los Angeles, in 3 places. But yes, it won the Best Screenplay Award at the Monaco Film Festival in the Epic and Historical category. It's since then been edited by the producer himself, and now it's at blockbuster level. So there's big dreams, big hopes, and a lot of Hollywood people have come on board to support it, but they have never visited Calcutta. So I'm very excited to bring them here.
Okay.
I'm very happy to take them to where I grew up, under the stairs, and I keep asking the producer, do you think big stars will go to like under the stairs where I stayed, or to my home in Kirapur, to the slum? And he said they will go where I tell them to go, because we are paying them. They will have to go, because if they don't go and they don't see, they cannot take the part, children. They have to go. And I'm so excited to see people like that have to go and see that. That's my aim, not the movie, but I want the rich to see what children really go through. That's my main aim, to take them there and to understand that how 3,000 plus people can share 3 toilets. Have you ever lined up and queued up in the morning to go to the toilet with 3,000 people?
Okay. Whom do you want to play this role?
I don't. If I were given a chance, I would want to pick a girl from Calcutta, but I'm not given a chance. They need a big name in order for the movie to sell, obviously. So there's a lot of questions going on. So some are saying it should be Angelina Jolie, some are saying Kate Winslet, some are saying Julia Stiles, and there's different opinions going on. But ultimately, we will have a casting director who will come on board, who will come with the crew, who will visit all these places and understand the significance of the story. And then he will say, I think this person's right for the role, or that person's right for the role. But we are also going to be choosing 2 Gillians and 2 Vanessas, who's my sister.
Okay.
So small and middle Evan, we'll have a contest to choose those girls. So I think it's going to be pretty exciting.
Okay. So a message to your listeners and viewers who are watching this video right now.
My message to them is you all are doing a film festival,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's just awesome. That's amazing, And I would love to tell all my followers and everybody who's engaged with these kind of stories, and these stories that actually change the world. I think everybody should try and make it, or follow it, and attend it, and whatever. And I'm very excited to come on board with it. So I just think it's a fantastic idea. Whoever brought it up in your your magazine, it's fantastic. It's a great thing you all are doing.
Okay. And few words for LaughaLaughi.
Our gratitude is the first thing, because I think I've been through you guys' side, and I think what y'all are doing is extraordinary. You know, y'all are like, to me, y'all are like this instrument, you know, that people like me and all the stories that y'all write, it's like we have music in us, but the world could never listen to that music if you guys were not in between, because y'all play that music for the world to listen to. Y'all are, to me, y'all seem like that instrument with the music on one side, but we are silenced. But if you don't bring it to the world will never listen to us. But the way you'll bring it to the world is truly extraordinary, and I think that's, anybody can write a story, anybody can write, but when you'll write, it's truly amazing. The way you bring it to life that's the key to journalism, I think. So thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving us the opportunity.
Absolute pleasure. No, thank you for coming.
So please like, share and comment for more such inspirational videos. Till then, take care.